Your business, your rules. Grow a business that works for you. This is the Her Business Podcast. Hey there, welcome to the Her Business Podcast. I'm Susie Daphnis and I help established women business owners step out of the day-to-day and lead businesses that don't rely on them. I'm your host. My name's Susie Daphnis. As I said, I'm the CEO at Her Business, and today is a short Ask Susie episode. Now, the Ask Susie episodes are where I answer real business questions that are sent in to me, and this particular question is something I see coming up all the time in our community, in our programs, in direct messages we get, and this is it. The question is, how do I stay focused on one marketing strategy long enough to see results? And I want to say up front, if you've ever felt like you're in a constant state of marketing chaos, you're jumping between strategies, you're trying everything, you're starting things and stopping things and wondering why nothing seems to stick, there are many other women in the same boat. Now, marketing is inherently a game of trial and error. It is testing, it is experimenting. But to find the strategies that work for your business, your industry, your niche, your audience, you have to try strategies long enough to actually see results. Because business owners have struggled with finding marketing strategies that work for them forever. But it seems especially prevalent right now. A decade ago, you'd learn new strategies through a business book or a keynote speaker or a summit you attended, but things have changed so much. Now you open up your phone and you are bombarded with new strategies every time you scroll. Someone who saw great results with one system, another person who is using a game-changing, and I'm doing air quotes, game-changing new tactic. Everybody's recommending something different. So it's no wonder that more business owners struggle now than ever before, not just choosing a marketing strategy that'll work for them, but actually sticking with it long enough to see results. So when you hear someone say, oh, this 10x'd my results, or we saw major conversions using this, of course, you're going to wonder if it could also work for you. And there lies the problem. We can get distracted by shiny new ideas or wonder why we're not getting the results that someone else gets, and we want to switch our strategy. So today, let's talk about exactly how to know which marketing strategies to stay focused on, how to know if something is worth your time, and how to balance what works with what could be better. Plus, at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you my framework for making better marketing decisions in the future. But first, let's talk about this idea of experimenting. So the opposite of marketing chaos isn't doing nothing, it's not stagnation. It's actually not picking one thing and committing to it forever. That would be really boring and eventually it would stop working. Experimentation is part of every business and it's essential because the marketplace, our audiences, our technology, change, all those things change and evolve. We change and evolve. But a healthy experimentation phase looks very different from what most people are doing. Most people are experimenting like this. They try everything, they see what sticks, they hope for the best. And they panic if something doesn't work right away and change tactics again and again. That's not really experimentation. So just like a science experiment, the whole point is to collect data, right? Not necessarily to see a result right away. Not necessarily, in your case, to get clients or cash or more reach. Those things are great. And we want those things. And they're definitely indicators that your strategy is working, but it's not the reason to experiment. You're trying to gather data in a structured way. And here's what I mean. When you're in an experimentation phase, you're not trying 5 things at once. You're choosing one variable and testing it with intention. For example, you might say, for the next 90 days, I am focusing on growing my email list through one lead magnet and one traffic source. That's experimentation within boundaries. At the end of that 90 days, you're going to see if that strategy is worth pursuing. Did you get leads? Did you not? Or did those leads convert into clients? The problem most business owners have is that they layer too many variables at once. They're trying a new platform with new messaging and a new offer and a brand new audience. And when it doesn't work, and something always doesn't work, they have no idea what the problem actually is. Was it the platform? Was it the messaging? Was it the offer? Was it the timing? You can't know because you changed everything at once. So the first shift I want to offer you is this. Structured experimentation is what you want. Unstructured experimentation is going to be your enemy. It's just chaotic. So great, you're experimenting, you're keeping it structured because we had this conversation, you're not pivoting too early. So I know that you might be on board with that, but here's what I see happen. Something challenging arises, some roadblock appears, something starts not to work, a launch flops, a campaign falls flat. That's when most people change course. You hit a rough patch and then you have a knee-jerk reaction. This is very predictable and most business owners haven't. I have done this many times. What happens is we have a knee-jerk reaction and we abandon the strategy. The campaign doesn't perform and the conclusion is this doesn't work, or this doesn't work for my industry, or worse, my audience is never going to buy this. So the reactive thing to do is change. Change it all, change it now, change it before anyone sees how horribly it's doing. Or we overcorrect. We change the pricing mid-campaign. We rewrite our messaging on the fly in the middle of a launch. We add more complexity. So we add a bonus and then another bonus, and we try a new angle and a new offer. And instead of stepping back and asking the one question that actually matters at these roadblocks, which is, what is it that's not actually working? So taking the time to step back and ask yourself that without panic and a knee-jerk reaction is very, very hard. It's really uncomfortable to sit in uncertainty. Our heads might know that we definitely want to be driven by data and feedback that we're getting, but our anxiety kicks in when something goes wrong. You feel in your gut something is not working, so we jump to fix the solution. But remember, the goal of your experimentation phase is to gather data. This is a really great exercise to do. You put your science hat on and you say, this isn't to win clients or make profit. It's to understand what works and what doesn't. And then you can incorporate that into your future marketing. So it takes actually stopping, being methodical, watching for the feedback, then making decisions on hard data. So why is it so hard to stay focused on one strategy? Why do we keep switching? I think the real answer is more layered than we think. It's rarely just our impatience. It's rarely just because we're not getting the results we expected now. It's a mix of deeper, bigger things. One of it could be being seen. Because who wants to be seen trying something that doesn't end up working? Who wants witnesses to our failures, no matter how small they are? Who wants an audience when we're trying something new and we're flailing about? Nobody wants that. It's uncomfortable. So instead of letting the discomfort sit with us and learn from it, we jump into the next thing, hoping that works instead. That's the first thing, fear of visibility. The second thing is comparison. This is another one. Seeing someone else succeed with a completely different strategy and thinking, maybe I should be doing that. Another is the lack of feedback. This one is hard because sometimes we just don't know that we're not on the right track. And this can happen when we're working in isolation, as so many business owners do, without a sounding board or community around you. So we're not getting the feedback on what we're working on. And the other is identity. Okay, so I'll just talk about identity in a minute, but I mentioned visibility, comparison, lack of feedback, and identity. And identity is about feeling like this should work for me. I have the experience. I've been doing this for years. I'm smart enough. And all of that is true, but sometimes things don't work regardless. It can feel deeply personal when something flops or something you poured a whole lot of time into doesn't go well, especially when it's not just you, but your team has also poured their heart and soul into it. Underneath all of this is a deep desire for certainty. Now, switching strategies gives us this temporary hit because it's a sense of control. I'm taking control, I'm changing direction. Whereas staying with a decision requires trust in yourself, in your strategy, in the process. That is much harder work. So back to the question of how long does a marketing strategy actually need to run before you can fairly assess whether it's working? I think you want to give something 90 days. That's my answer. Sometimes it's going to be 6 months in order to see meaningful results. And as someone who's fidgety like me, I can tell you doing this has not always been easy. Because marketing isn't just about immediate conversion. It is about building awareness. in an audience of what you want to be known for. It is about strengthening your messaging. It is about creating consistency and trust with your audience over time. And what most people massively underestimate is how long it takes for momentum to build, especially when you are changing who you're for or what you offer or how you deliver your services. And when you change direction without letting the course play out, that moment gets reset. Every time you switch, you are back to zero again, back to no feedback, no traction, starting from scratch. Now, if you're one of our Her Business Network members, you know that we do things in 90-day increments. You've heard about these 90-day projects. We're planning in 90 days at our strategy meetings. We're analysing our results every 90 days. We're looking at our marketing. We're looking at our money. We're looking at what changes we want to make every 90 days. Because if you give something a go for that period of time, that is long enough for you to know if something is working. Before you refine it, before you tweak it, before you pivot it, you will have had enough of a chance to get objective data in order to make a right decision. I want you to know as you're listening to this episode now, there is a difference between this isn't working and this isn't working yet. And I really want you to hear this. That one little word makes such a difference. A strategy that is not working yet will often show little signs of movement. Maybe it's increased engagement or more aligned responses from your audience. Maybe some early traction, even if it's not full conversion, even a deeper sense of alignment for you personally. That's how you know you're on track. A strategy that's genuinely not working feels flat. There's no engagement, there's no responses, the people you're attracting are the tie kickers or the wrong people, and there's no improvement over time regardless of what you do, and it doesn't feel good to you. So the question to ask yourself is this gaining momentum even slowly, even a little bit, or am I getting a no signal at all or all no signals? Now, that distinction matters. You can't expect to see massive conversions right off the bat, as I mentioned. If you do, congratulations. But you can start to pick up on the smaller cues. Those cues are going to help you pivot strategically at the end of your experimentation period, which we said might be 90 days, might be longer, depending what you're doing, rather than you having a manic panic and pivoting. Right? So the signals are going to show for you that something has potential to move the needle, to bring in the profit. So what happens when you do your experimentation and you're not getting any of those signals? You're facing flat water. There's no movement, no excitement from you or others, no indicators. There are three things that happen most. And often it's not the platform that you're using. And by platform, I mean it's not the social network. It's not whether you're speaking or running webinars or running challenges or doing open days or doing free trials. It's not that. And it's not about the money that you're spending on ads or how often you're sending emails. It's usually one of these three foundational elements. Number one, it's often the messaging. It's not resonating, it's not connecting with your ideal audience, and it's not conveying how you can genuinely help people, whatever the problem is. And when I say people, I mean organizations, if that's who you work with. The second element that's often missing is that your offer isn't aligned with the audience. For example, if your ideal client is struggling on her menopause journey and wants to discover how she can embrace her body as it changes, a $27 workbook that's downloadable isn't probably the right offer for her. She's probably looking for something that includes community support or one-on-one conversations or direct feedback. If you, this is another example, help busy business owners create websites, they're not going to jump at an offer for one-on-one mentoring on how to create their own website. They just want you to do it for them. So those are extreme examples, but the point is your offer aligned with the audience? And the third thing that's often tripping us up is that you're reaching the wrong people entirely. So you've not defined very clearly who your ideal client is and what they want and where they're at. And these foundations are even more important when you've got money behind your marketing. Paid marketing, whether that's advertising, sponsorships, paying people to send an EDM, this just amplifies, trade shows, whatever it is, amplifies what's already there. So if something isn't working organically, spending money on more ads or on paid marketing doesn't fix it. It just makes the misalignment even more obvious and your pocket less fall. So before you increase what you're spending, look at those foundations. Ask yourself, is my message landing with the right people? Is my offer clearly solving a problem they actually want solved? Am I targeting the right people for my business, and what can I offer? And these are the conversations we're having all day, every day inside of Her Business. Now, earlier I promised to give you my framework. Now, I want you to take this away and use it. It's super simple and really clear. I call it the C.O.R.E marketing model, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the core of what matters. And C.O.R.E is an acronym. These are 4 things done consistently and done well. The C is for content. This is how you build trust and authority. Your emails, your posts, your podcasts, your videos, the things that demonstrate what you know and help your audience understand why you're the right person for them. And really spending time developing great content is a priority, I think, for business owners. And I don't mean outsourcing it to ChatGPT. I mean really thinking about your voice and what is the content that your ideal client needs to hear. O in C.O.R.E is for outreach. This is how you get in front of new people. This is your visibility. This is about you, your brand, your business showing up where your ideal clients already are. Whether that's through collaborations, through speaking opportunities, through social media, through paid advertising. This is the piece that grows your audience. It's really hard to do this if you're sitting in isolation, hoping someone's going to find your website and click on that buy button or that contact form. The R in C.O.R.E is relationships. This is your nurturing. The conversations, the emails, the community, the way you stay connected with people who already know you. This is often the most underinvested area in small business marketing, and it's where most of your conversions are actually going to come from. Putting time into those relationships. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be going to networking events all day, every day. It means that you want some strategic relationships that work for you and work for the other person. That's where you want to be part of a connection network, a network where people have got your back, where people are not looking to say, buy from me, but are really looking to build a relationship with you. And the E in C.O.R.E is for evaluation. This is how you know what's working. Consistently reviewing your results, asking every client how they found you. You absolutely want to do that. Tracking the metrics that actually matter and using that information to refine what you're doing. So content, outreach, relationships, evaluation. C.O.R.E. And if, like most business owners, you don't have 40 hours a week to focus on marketing, the C.O.R.E marketing model is perfect. You can just do those 4 things again and again. You don't need to spread yourself across 10 different social media platforms. You don't need to chase down every new tactic that crosses your path. Just focus on those 4 things. So I would be printing those words out and putting them next to your computer so that you can see them, and every day do something in that area. What could you do that is content? How could you do some outreach? What relationships could you build? What could you evaluate to see what's working? Right? What are you measuring? So to bring everything back, here is what to do when you feel pulled in multiple directions and you don't know which marketing is going to work for you. Experiment, but intentionally. Give things 90 days before you judge them, and try not to let the panic, the knee-jerk reactions change things and take over. Make sure your marketing foundations are intact before you react. Remember, we talked about your offer, the ideal clients. And then use the C.O.R.E model. Content, outreach, relationships, evaluation to guide where you put your time. And trust that momentum. Even when it builds slowly, it's still momentum. You're still heading in the right direction. The businesses that see the most results from their marketing aren't the ones that have massive advertising budgets. Not at all. It's not the ones that are on every platform. It's not the ones trying every new strategy that someone online swears is the best next thing. It's businesses who are doing the right things for their individual businesses, consistently, patiently, with a clear sense of what they're doing. I'll put everything we talked about here, including the C.O.R.E marketing model, in the show notes for this episode so that you can reference it at any time. And I'll tell you where that is in just a moment. Now, if you have a business question that you want advice on, you can send us an email at info@herbusiness.com and submit it for the show, and I'll answer it here for you. You might just be featured on an upcoming Ask Susie episode of the Her Business podcast. So, If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear about it. You can send me a message on Instagram. You'll find us at Her Business. And if you're not following us there, please do, because we're always posting really great tips and giving away freebies and all sorts of things. Or share this episode with another woman business owner who might need to hear this today. If you're not already part of the Her Business Network, these are the types of conversations we have every day inside of our community. And you can learn more at herbusinessnetwork.com. Now, on our website at herbusiness.com/356, because this is episode 356, you're going to find a summary of today's episode and links to the resources that I've mentioned. Now, if you are new to the show, please hit subscribe or follow wherever you are listening. And if you really enjoyed today's episode, would you do me a favor and leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts? I know it's going to take a few minutes of your time. I know it's a big favor, but it would mean the world to me, because that is how new women discover the show. I love doing this show for you. I love answering your questions, and I want to give a quick shout out. This shout out is to Rhonda Garvin of Palm Tree Learning. Now, she helps you and your team work smarter by getting the most out of your software tools. So listen up. Now, she offers both ready-made courses and tailored training designed around your specific needs. So whether it's in person or online, individually or as a team, she will help you train your team in all things software. Now, she said this. She said, practical and real. Let me make this bigger so I can read it. Sorry, give me a second. She said, Susie brings so many practical teachings for running a small business, and then when she has your attention and confidence, hits you with love, with the hard truths we need to face in order to love and succeed in our business. And the podcast always ties in perfectly with the monthly focus for the Her Business membership. Thank you, Rhonda. And yes, you're absolutely right. Every month we have a different theme inside of Her Business. We want to have a really well-rounded entrepreneurs who are strong in all the areas. And so the episodes do line up with that. So thank you so much for leaving that 5-star review. Hey, thank you so much for listening. Join us in the next episode for more inspiring stories and lessons from successful business entrepreneurs. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next week right here on the Her Business podcast. Bye for now.